What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ring the Bell. My name is Joey. I'm your dad bod demigod. As always, next to me,
the interdimensional Shiro, Moxie Molly. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so excited for the freaking guest we have.
We have a special guest this week, and it's the one, the only Miss Shalandra Royal.
You might remember her from such things as AEW,
where she was like, I wrestled on AEW and it was bomb. Y'all better go watch it. So we did, and we fell in love with her.
It's true.
So let's go ahead and dive on in for what we have this week, guys. This week, we got a 6-person ladder match for the number one contendership to the NXT Women's Championship. Okay, I'm going to go through these and remember everyone.
I have them written down just in case you don't.
You go for it, Moxie.
All right, so we have Io Shirai, Candice LeRae, Chelsea Green accompanied by Robert Stone, Mia Yim, Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai accompanied by Raquel.
Oh, look at you! Obviously, the end of this match, we saw Io Shirai become the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship, but there was a lot of freaking spots in this match.
Oh, what?
It's a ladder match, so I expected it to be spotty because that's really all a ladder match is. But this one, it didn't feel like there was as many interchanges. It just felt like, hey, we're going on this spot, we're doing this spot, we're doing this spot, and then straight to the finish. And it never let you really breathe, but I didn't hate it at all.
Yeah, I loved it. At first I was like, oh my gosh, this is just going to be a cluster. Or I thought it was going to be like the standard 4 people on the outside, 2 on the inside, and maybe you got 3 on the inside. But no, it was great. It was great. The timing for things were phenomenal, in my opinion.
I think what we're seeing here is because it's not live, because they're filming it ahead of time. If something was off, giving away the little movie magic, if something was off, they would be able to edit it out. But I literally, this week, everything I watched, I thought to myself, maybe coronavirus saved wrestling. Because what we're seeing on television is, it's amazing. Like, all across the board, no matter what brand you're watching, like, but especially these in-warehouse, not live things, I think they're just getting bigger and better and more phenomenal.
I agree.
I really wanted some sort of crowd for this match because I think it just...
I know.
Yeah, as opposed to like the regular matches that we've seen for ladder matches, I really miss the from the crowd, like if something big happens.
Because the crowd is essential for feeling certain things. You know, like you do a move and then normally you might want to just go to the next spot. But if you have the crowd really react, you just feel it and you live in it. And I missed that, but also that match. Oh my gosh.
It was so good. There were so many crazy bumps that we saw. I love Dakota's kick for Tegan where she went to the ladder on the outside. That powerbomb chokeslam combo on Raquel, and then of course Miss Candice flying off that ladder and racking herself across it on the net.
Big props to both of the managers or escorts, whatever you want to call them, in this match. I felt that they found 2 really unique ways to incorporate 2 really unique managers. I mean, we don't even have to point it out, but the fact that one was female and one was male, they didn't like have to demasculinize Robert Stone like they might have with guy with no chin.
James Ellsworth?
Yes.
Okay.
How they had to like make him be like the shrimpy little guy. Like Robert Stone was like, no, this is my client. I'm going to take off my very nice jacket. I'm going to be strong and pull you up. So many times I feel like when you have both genders in there, if you believe in 2, you see either the man have to look really weak or the female have to like succumb to man beating or something. This was like a really nice balance. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it didn't diminish anyone. Everyone looked strong. The only person who didn't seem as strong, but it was completely character, was probably Chelsea Green, just because she kind of, once she took that leg beating, she sold it, phenomenally. But it kind of made her look a little bit weak, kind of like she's shying away. So I kind of am looking forward to see where that dynamic goes.
Big props to her to just like literally, you could see her aiming to like nut herself on the top rope. She was like aiming for it. It was so graceful, yet so perfect.
Probably like a good way to describe Chelsea Green, honestly.
I feel really bad that I almost feel like we didn't see enough of her in this match, but I think she did what she was supposed to do. Like, you're always going to have one person you don't see enough in a match when there's like 6 people in it. But I think her, in conjunction with Robert Stone, where when Raquel comes around, he's like, get away from me, get away from her. And he starts fanning Chelsea. Like, they played the perfect part of what was needed in the match, someone always has to take a back seat. I love them together.
I love them together as well, but if I had to say someone took a back seat in this match, I'd honestly say it was Mia. I didn't see a lot from her in this one.
Yeah, now that I think about it.
Besides the powerbomb off the corner through the table with Raquel, but that was honestly more Tegan Knox's spot than it was Mia Yim's spot.
Yeah, I really like how strong they made Raquel look picking up Dakota Kai and walking her up the ladder. And then, as I mentioned, even Robert Stone, how he climbed up, leaned over, and pulled Jesse Green out. But I have to say, poor little Candice LeRae, so tiny, she doesn't even break the ladder.
She doesn't.
Her poor little body just falls down.
She's the pint-sized pixie. That's what she does.
On that spot, I just saw Lion King, like when Scar was like, "Long live the king," and all I heard was just "Long live the queen."
Oh my god!
And you know what? She would love it too. She's a big Disney fan.
Yeah.
See?
Perfect. We see Io Shirai go up the ladder, throw Candice LeRae off. Poor little Candice LeRae, like a trampoline, bounces off the ladder, falls down, and Io Shirai, before we even realize what's happening, she grasps the case, unlocks it, and
Yeah,
she wins. We're gonna see Io Shirai wrestle Charlotte,
and I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to see it either. At first, when she won, I'm very excited, but then I was like, oh no, she's the first one to go up against Charlotte, so I don't think they're going to have her take the belt off of the queen just yet. And that's what kind of set me back. I was like, oh no, but you know what? I don't care. There's so many more contenders after Io that I'm just ready for the lineup to face Charlotte. Charlotte versus Dakota, Charlotte versus Mia, Charlotte versus Tegan Knox. Anything's going to be fantastic.
Although I do not dislike Charlotte and I do not disrespect her, I do feel like her winning all the stuff recently, it's just not needed. We already know she's on top. And what I thought to myself is, if they did this to give, which it's probably not going to happen, but if they did this to give Io Shirai the belt and look like she's stronger than Charlotte, I can make amends with it.
I don't think they're going to go that route. I just
don't want to see it into Io. Like my heart, I wouldn't be able to handle it. I would boycott it. I don't know what I'd do, but I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Turn the TV off, walk away. That's what I did during that Elimination Chamber match this year. I was like, nope, we're done. Just walked away.
And I'm done.
But speaking of the future with Miss Charlotte Flair, we got a promo from her later on NXT where basically she said her same old Charlotte things.
I'm the queen. I did this. I'm here. Yeah. This is my house. I invented this. You're all here because I did what I did.
But she gives good promos, though. I mean, that's one thing I can't take away from her. Like, she's talented. She spoke well. I felt it, even though I felt like I knew what she was going to say. Mm-hmm. And she had a look on her face like, you know what I'm going to say.
When you're Ric Flair's daughter, you're expected to be good.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my God. If Charlotte ever gets a shirt that says, woo me, I'm going to die. I'm going to buy it so quickly.
Yeah, we'll all buy it.
Looking forward to Charlotte versus Io. But speaking of rocky upcoming things, Candice LeRae at the end of the show during the Johnny Gargano-Tommaso Ciampa match is something we have to talk about.
Okay, so I'm an opera major with theater and everything in my soul. So I,
look at all the theater kids,
all
right
of us.
here.
Yeah, all the theater kids. I just felt like I needed more from Candice, and I just got like, I don't know. I just felt some type of way about that. And then when I realized what she was doing, I was like, okay, but I needed more drama from her. I just felt like it wasn't enough to piece it together, especially when you lack an audience, you lack the responses that you would have normally got. Because if the crowd was there, you would have had to wait anyway, or at least not say anything, or just pantomime it. But because we don't have that and the cameras are all in their face, I just needed a little bit more drama so that I could really feel for what she was going through, watching him go through that. That's what made me give it like a couple steps down. But I didn't expect it at all.
That's what caught me, was I didn't expect it. I was expecting a little bit more of like Trish's Chris Jericho double cross kind of vibe, but got more of, what we got. Just a curveball that I didn't see coming just made that entire match for me, because I think this was another match that really would have benefited from a live crowd. So having some kind of curveball, even if it is Candice coming out there and kind of healing up a little bit more than we've really seen Candice do before, it gave a little bit of spice to me where I was like, okay, I'll eat this meal. This is good.
Candice hasn't evolved past indie charisma. She's still working for a small crowd. instead of the large, thousands of, even though there's not a crowd there right now, I get that. But like, we haven't seen large crowd from her yet. And we know she's better than that because she works the indie crowds like none other. She leaves us just a little flat and wanting more. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just too much for her right now.
I don't know. I think it's another factor of when you're on the indies, you don't have as much competition on the direct show that you're on. When you only get one chance per week to really come out and show yourself to a live crowd, it's different than just being the next competitor who's coming out of the curtain during an indie match. During an indie show, you don't really know who you're supposed to be expecting. None of these characters are fully established for you. When you're coming out on a main event show like NXT and you're still pulling out indie stuff, it kind of seems like you're not giving us all we need because we're looking for a clear television package. She just hasn't got the character work down yet.
But we expect big things.
As you were calling her kind of bland, the first thing that popped into my head was Bob's Burgers, where Louise looks at somebody and she's like, if she was a spice, she'd be flour.
I love that show, by the way. And then as soon as you said it, I just knew. Yeah, she's flour. But let's see. The Britt Baker effect might happen with her as she goes heel.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we need flour for a lot of things. Maybe she's just a flour player.
That's a really good wrestling analogy, honestly. Sometimes you just need flour. Like, flour keeps it all together. Well, that's all that happened on NXT this week, but we did have a little bit happen on NXT UK, so it's time to hop across the pond over to NXT UK. Where
International travel is banned.
Well, then screw it. Guess we're not doing this.
Just kidding.
We can always blue skidoo. We can't
No.
Did she just pull out a blue skidoo?
Blue skidoo.
This week we got 2 matches from the ladies on NXT UK. The first match was a tag team match that got announced last week. It was Piper Niven teaming up with Dani Luna to face the NXT UK Women's Champion Kaylee Ray, Miss Jenny, who is making her return.
I didn't realize how much Jenny was needed until I saw her. And I'm like, okay, you're just rising from the ashes out of nowhere. I got you. Okay.
She's got such a phenomenal character that she can go in the ring. Like, Jenny's got it, but her character outshines her in-ring work, which is already stellar. Like, I could see her on TV every week. She's my give the bitch a belt right now. Like, put it on her. Overall, the tag team match, really solid tag team wrestling and really good dynamics between these 4.
The timing was so good to me. Even with that in front of the live crowd, like the whole cat and mouse thing. And then Jenny cut off. Oh, what's her name?
Dani Luna?
Yes, Dani Luna. Yes. And that cutoff was just so perfect.
A lot of standouts for me in this match. Number 1 is just Dani Luna played the newbie character to a T. Legit. They kept calling it on commentary. They're like, there's that inexperience coming into play, and you can just watch it. Like, it played out perfectly. Second one is when Piper Niven is on a roll, that little diving splash she does nails. Like, once she nails it,
I would have just laid down. I wouldn't have been able to kick out.
Why are you getting up, girl?
Whole soul would have left my body. Like, but I love her. I just wouldn't want to take it, but I love her.
Please don't be angry at me. But after Piper did her splash off the ropes, after that, I felt the Candice LeRae effect. It's like she got her really good spot in that she always does. And then she just was flour.
That's it. Yeah.
I don't know. She's improving. Promos are a no-no for me with Piper Niven. I haven't enjoyed any of them. But like, her energy coming to the ring and what she delivers in the ring. And you know what I think it is for me is they've put a little bit of story behind her that's kind of given her some energy to where, yes, she's flour, but she's like a little bit above like higher grade flour than Candice for me.
I could get down with that. Like, she's rice flour.
She's rice flour.
I feel like she's like that marinade flour, like flour, and then you have like the salt and pepper and the cayenne or something in it.
Yeah,
like, you're gonna do something with it.
That match ended. We saw a nice combination where Jenny hit the forearm out of the Okana that Dani was going for right into the gory bomb, and it was fantastic. I loved every second of it.
It's just the one thing I didn't like was Jenny throwing Piper into like the stairs.
Yeah.
I'm like, Piper is stronger than that. Like, wear her down or something. Jenny is still kind of like small.
She's a little.
Just very intense, strong. Her character makes her seem even larger. And I get that. But Piper didn't get beat up enough, in my opinion, to be able to be tossed into the stairs and just tossed around like she didn't matter. I'm like, come on now. You got to do Piper some justice.
It's kind of that syndrome that Nia Jax had when she was in a match with Alexa Bliss, where it's like, you know, why is Bliss throwing Nia around? Like, she should be a little bit more cunning. Like, she shouldn't be able to whip her. She should just stop her no matter what. So, but we did get another showcase match on NXT UK this week. We got to see the returning Miss Xia Brookside come out. I'm not sure if a male's signed with the WWE or not.
Oh, she was. It was kind of a squash match.
That's it made me rethink everything that I thought I knew at the beginning of the match, and then like how it ended. I'm like, so maybe there's stuff I don't know. I will admit I haven't seen every episode of NXT UK, but I'm like, that just felt like a squash. I just didn't like it.
I mean, Amel's been the resident like jobber. I guess you can call her a jobber. She's got enough offense in where she doesn't seem like she's jobbing out too much. Yeah. But she definitely seems like she is stepping into the role of the Aaliyah for NXT UK.
Sad. But girl's getting paid.
She's getting paid. It's
Collect that money.
Yeah, that's what Deonna Purrazzo said after she fought Nia Jax on Monday, because people were like ridiculing her, and she's like, yo, I got my paper, I made it out of there, we're good, like, let's go. The end of this match resulted in Miss Xia Brookside getting the win after her finisher. I can't remember what they called it. Crack your back? No, wings or something.
The broken wings. Broken wings. Crack your back. Now, I thought she was going to turn the broken wings into like a O'Connor pin or whatever. Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be the coolest thing, and it didn't happen. But I mean, still though,
what did we think about Xia Brookside? Because she's been out of the picture for a little bit. Now she's back on the scene. Commentary
made sure that we knew, like, hey, she's been gone. She's been traveling. She's been training. So of course, when I was hearing that, I'm like, okay, let me see. But it still felt like maybe nerves or something, because the first part of the match was super fast to me, and I don't know if it was just supposed to be that way, but it just seemed rushed, like rookie rushed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, I couldn't get as invested, but I was proud to see her back though. Because she's just so adorable. I like her.
She is. I think she's only like 20 years old or something like that, 2021. So like, she's baby. There's a reason for her not seeming like an in-ring veteran, I think, at this time, you know, because not every 21-year-old can be Paige, but she's coming out there. She was showing off for being such a young competitor. I was impressed with her.
Mm-hmm. I give her that, yeah.
Well, I guess we have to now move on to this company, Shalandra. I'm not sure if you heard about them before, but they're called AEW.
Oh, sound familiar. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah, but we got a really, really long women's contest this week from them between Hikaru Shida and Miss Dr. Britt Baker. This week, they got it together. This was my women's match of the week right here. Like,
really?
Mm-hmm,
it was a bloody, challenging match. I will say that.
It was bloody. The only thing I can critique and say I didn't like was the commentary, because AEW's commentary was all over the place.
Like, the commentary was really driving me crazy during this, and it just like made me in my head be like, WWE has better commentary, like just 100% across the board.
And I love AEW. I love AEW for reasons. However, I'm like, come on. They talked about Shida's shoes and talked about her.
I was going to talk about that because I was watching it with my husband, Tyler, and he doesn't watch wrestling. Like, he just sees the clips. What are they talking about her shoes for? Like, audibly. And I'm like, if someone who doesn't watch the program is saying that, then you guys need to focus up. But the match itself, though, I loved Britt Baker in this match. She was giving me uber heel. Her facial expressions. I love when she got bloodied and she's just smiling. It was the best. But my favorite moment of this entire match was when she demanded a glove to put her hand for the mandible. Oh, little details like that are so like right up my alley.
I love heel Britt. I love heel Britt. I love Britt in general. I think she's an awesome girl. It's just, I'm like, you know, is she going to have that Candice LeRae that, you know, like we knew she was obviously one of the faces. She was like the first female signed. But what are they doing with her? And her as a heel, I don't care if she just goes out there and just kicks somebody and that's it. Like, I live for it. I live for it.
I love the fact that they continued a storyline in the women's division from last week. and they got those two head to head. I want to see more of that. Give me some storyline. Give me some authentic, genuine dislike between these competitors, and it's gold. Last night, I was just floored with how much I loved that show.
And they said this in commentary, but how she like is working the camera angles. Also, how to continue the storyline they've put her in. How she looked at the camera when she was taking some heat and was like, "Tony, help me," and she was like, I don't know. And now she's like, "Tony, you tell them." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah. Yes. The only thing I could say I didn't like is although it played nicely into the match, you know that the blood spot was totally planned, totally fake. Yeah. And I just don't
You think so?
Are you? Yeah, you're being sarcastic, right?
That was some sarcasm. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. I guess I wouldn't be so upset with it, except every single time we've seen something fake like that in a women's match, there's a pause that you can tell it's fake. Like when they made what's-her-name's tooth fall out, they didn't cut the camera well enough, and you saw Aubrey throw the tooth into her mouth. And this, when they were exchanging blows, Britt was going to come, and then she realized probably the blood didn't break, and then it took her a second, and we could see it in the camera. And if it wasn't live, I don't know why they wouldn't just cut that out.
You can tell it was supposed to be that enziguri that busted her nose. But
it didn't even make it. Yeah.
It didn't make it, and then commentary called it out. Like Chris Jericho was going in about how a kick to the kidneys could be devastating, and then she stands up with a bloody nose, and you're like, okay, I knew what you're supposed to be going for.
I don't know. I just wish since they're filming these, ahead of time, that they, like a WWE, they could be taking out those tiny little stutters.
Love the match. I hope we get to see more from AEW next week because Hikaru Shida got the win. So hopefully this is going to parlay something into Nyla Rose coming back. I don't know if she's able to appear because she hasn't at all, which is weird for the champion.
Do we know what state she lives in? I was thinking maybe she's in one of those states where they're like have really heavy lockdown travel restrictions, and maybe that's why she can't. Because I feel really bad for thinking this. I was like, who's their champion still? Because no offense, we haven't seen her in so long on screen. I'm not saying she's one of those champions that's not defending her belt. I'm saying,
she is, but
coronavirus. Well,
yeah, due to circumstances.
Yeah. Coronavirus is making her out of sight, out of mind.
It's sad for her career.
It just sucks. Yeah,
it's sad for everyone, but it sucks because the first time we all thought she was going to be the first ever ladies champion, and then there was a hiccup and she wasn't. And now that she finally is, what is it? She the second ladies champion now? Now, when she's here to have her reign, we have a worldwide pandemic. Like, she just can't win.
Sad. Hopefully we see her really soon because they are building up her number one contender hardcore. So hopefully she's able to come back and do.
When Hikaru Shida did her thing where she pushed Britt Baker into the audience to hold the audience and then came in, did her knee, they pointed out that someone was standing ringside that's not usually there.
Danny
who though?
Jordan.
Okay, I was like, that doesn't look like Danny Luna, but they did say Danny, and I was very confused. I was like, I thought she signed
it's Danny
WWE.
Jordan. And they're like, who's Danny Jordan?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, who is Danny Jordan?
Oh, okay. You about to start some stuff on Ring the Bell. We're gonna have
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Are we gonna see a Shalandra Royal versus Danny Jordan match on AEW Dark next week? Make sure
I would love to see that happen.
Make sure to request us to be ringside.
Yes. Somehow get you to the undisclosed location.
Hey, I'm in Indiana. Our travel restrictions are not that heavy.
Hey, Moxie.
Hey, Joey.
Hey, Shalandra. What is your boom blast moment of the week?
Shalandra, you go first since you're our very special guest.
Oh, me? Okay, I feel pressure now. Okay. Mine is just that very simple moment, but it's the Lion King moment. It's when Io scratched old girl's eyes out and was like, you know what? Long live the queen. Die. And just like pushed her off, and her body flailed upon that ladder. Didn't break it, but flailed upon the ladder. That did it for me.
No, it was a good spot for real.
My boom blast moment of this week was the little act of Britt Baker demanding that glove before she put her hand. I'm bleeding and I'm going to put my hand in her mouth. Give me a glove.
I would say my boom blast is, believe it or not, Robert Stone. He really made the match for me. Like all the little pieces with Chelsea Green, they didn't give her much, but what they gave her, both of them, both of them made like their self shine. And so I would say both of them, that team together, what are they? The brand or whatever?
The
Robert Stone brand. The Robert Stone brand has my Boom Blast moment.
Can there be an honorable mention though?
Yeah.
And speaking of Chelsea, again, this may be small to others, but when she came out of nowhere with that double like bulldog on that ladder, I'm like, okay, look at you coming out of nowhere, making things happen. So she
has an amazing repertoire of moves that I don't think they've allowed to showcase yet.
Also, I think we just had the first ever man get a Boom Blast moment on this channel. So
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it for our review this week, guys. Please, as always, hit that subscribe button, hit the follow button, do all those good jazz. But hey, Moxie.
Hey, Joey. Hey,
Shalandra.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on all social media platforms at that's THEE, Moxie Molly.
You can find me at Joey_Mayberry on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You can also just Google Andy from The Office, because apparently I look just like him.
And you can find me on Twitter at Twitter, Fighting Siren _R. And it's the same for Instagram, Fighting Siren _R.
We have some new merch available on our Teespring. The link's going to be below. And also, don't forget our Patreon. Go ahead and become one of our Ring the Bell family. And we would love to give you a shout out.
She said support.
And I do want to thank you all so much for inviting me to do this. I've been watching you guys for a long time, and it's so exciting to be here.
Yeah, you come over here with the
Thank you for being on here with us.
Anytime. I hope this won't be the last.
No, yeah, please come back.
You got to have the diva here, you know.
Moxie doesn't like the divas.
No, that's not true.
But I'm a pop diva.
I didn't get to watch the divas, so I don't have as much of connection with them as I do with the ladies in the Women's Revolution. But Shalandra can be the diva, I will be the KWEEN, and
I'll be Andy from The Office.
From The Office.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.